My name is Tony Litt. I'm the MD of Sunrise Radio, and it's my immense pleasure to bring you the official Sunrise Radio podcast. We are the #1 commercial Asian station in the United Kingdom, with many firsts to our name, and we continue to be the voice of British Asians who have given us their love and loyalty over 30 years. It's a legacy we cherish and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. Our aim has always been to entertain the listeners with the best of Bollywood and Bhangra, while also addressing their concerns. A real voice for the community, a vibrant community, and a great nation. We are proud to be British and Asian. This podcast is a compilation of some of the things we do on the station, with a stellar lineup of presenters who each have their own personality and style. It's entertaining, informative, engaging, and we hope you will enjoy it here as a podcast if you are unable to tune in to the radio. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your family and friends about this podcast, and do leave us a comment on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All the best always. Team Sunrise.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
Hey, my name is Shabnam Sahi. Welcome to the official Sunrise Radio podcast. I'm on your radio weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. If you've heard the show, you know what to expect from it. But here are some exciting, interesting Bollywood stories that you may have missed. This time round, served up as part of our official Sunrise Radio podcast. Enjoy. So this is a fantastic story on how OTT platforms are proving to be absolute game changers when it comes to portraying women in a film or in a drama. That is where the evolution has been most rapid and most prominent. Filmmaker Neeraj Khaiwan, who directed a short film titled Gili Pucci in the Ajeeb Dastans anthology. Did you see that? This film explored prejudices against caste, gender, sexuality in a totally non-preachy way. And audiences absolutely loved it. That Neeraj Khaiwan, he said in an interview, "I'm happy that we've gone past the time when a woman walking into a boardroom full of men was considered bold and progressive. Now the same woman is planning a corporate takeover, choosing an alternate partner and managing her family all in one day. I'm an intersectional feminist, and I'd like to see women in conjunction with other subaltern markers as sexuality, class, religion, disability, caste, state oppression, and more. Making a Gili Pucci would have been difficult if it had the pressure of sole theatrical recovery." Now, our lovely Vidya Balan, she adds her voice to the debate as well. And Vidya Balan कहती हैं कि in today's world, women no longer aspire to be one of a kind. We have recognized that every woman is an individual, and her journey, her struggles, her triumphs, they are also individual. Women are owning their bodies and their choices, and all of this allows for diverse characterization of women in cinema, because cinemas are a reflection of reality. OTT offers a space where you're not necessarily looking for larger-than-life heroism. I think she nailed it there, right? Shefali Shah, again, someone who's a powerhouse of talent, and she has literally kick-started her career one more time, and with such finesse, mainly on OTT. She says women do not necessarily have to be the perfect wife, the perfect homemaker, or even the perfect mother. They can be flawed. Thanks to my role in Delhi Crime, writers now want to cast me in leads or parallel leads, and they want to write scripts keeping me in mind. This wouldn't have happened had I been restricted to playing just another part in commercial cinema. Filmmakers and lead actresses from a variety of dramas. Ajeeb Dastans le lijiye aap, Sherni, Delhi Crime, 4 More Shots Please, Bombay Begums, and not to forget Shakun Batra's latest offering, Gehraiyan. These are emerging as the real torchbearers of change. You don't have to like all these dramas or even agree with everything they say, but at least OTT is giving them the courage to break away from the Bollywood shackles of the past and make something refreshingly different that reflects our reality in this day and age. Take Rangita Pritish Nandi. Now, she was the creator and producer of 4 More Shots Please. She says, "I'm exhausted watching testosterone." And I think the audience feels exactly the same way. And that is why more makers are telling women-oriented stories, and audiences are tuning in across platforms. Then you've got Ekawali Khanna. Ekawali Khanna was a part of Bombay Begums. She says no longer are women just props in the story, taking part in family politics or romancing the hero. Some of the top web series are portraying women as sensitive, powerful, and those having a sense of purpose, she says. Last but not least, Shakun Batra, the man who made Gehraiyan. Shakun Batra कहते हैं, I think the primary reason for such characters enjoying more acceptance on OTT is that the audience's taste has evolved. More people are watching cinema from across the world and they are opening up to stories that were earlier lapped up by a niche audience in India. People are watching female-led shows like Fleabag and The Handmaid's Tale. This has informed the filmmakers of the growing taste of the viewers. It is unfortunate that not enough good scripts have been written for talented actors like Vidya Balan, Alia Bhatt and Deepika Padukone. This has to change. Alia Bhatt grandly announced her Hollywood debut yesterday with a Netflix original alongside Gal Gadot and Jamie Dornan titled Heart of Stone. Arjun Kapoor promptly labelled her a mini Meryl Streep. Easy, Tiger, easy. I mean, she's on the right track, but she has a long way to go to be a Meryl Streep, right? Now, following the announcement, Alia got massive support from her colleagues, from her fans, all very keen to know the teeny-weeny detail that her character clearly hasn't revealed yet. I mean, that has been kept a secret for now. Like, Netflix has revealed the fact that the film revolves around Rachel Stone, played by Gal Gadot, who is an intelligence operative and the only woman who stands between her powerful global peacekeeping organization and the loss of its most valuable, most dangerous asset. That's all they're saying. You know what's really cool for Alia? To have Tom Harper as her first Hollywood director. If you know, Tom Harper is a British TV and film director, producer, writer, best known for The Aeronauts, known for The Wild Rose as well. And get this, he's also done the hugely popular cult Peaky Blinders. That's very cool, I think. Fans of Sunny Deol, fans of Gadar, you probably know this already. Shooting is on in full swing at Lucknow's iconic La Martiniere College, which is actually a school. But you know, it is a school that is academically and architecturally, it is a fine piece of work. I have so many friends who went to La Mart's Lucknow. Now, of course, this is in Lucknow, lekin in director Anil Sharma's eagerly awaited sequel to Gadar, Gadar 2, this is meant to look like Lahore. Because the story continues to follow many lives as they stand torn between two countries. We already know that Sunny Deol and Amisha Patel are reprising their roles from the original film. Anil Sharma's son, Utkarsh Sharma, who was a little boy in Gadar, he is now a tall, strapping lad. He is the main hero of the film. And it is his dynamic with his dad, Sunny Deol, that is meant to be the heart and soul of the sequel. As Sunny Deol has said multiple times, a love story that talks about family values, precious bonds, loyalty, friendship, humanity, patriotism. That is the essence of Gadar. That is what the audience loved in the first film. That is what we have aimed to maintain in the sequel as well. And you know what? These are values that never seem dated, right? Now, kuch suna aapne? The Kapil Sharma show was trending on Twitter in India yesterday, I believe, and for somewhat controversial reasons. When charges of favoritism surfaced one more time, ahead of its 11th March release this weekend, when director Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, he was asked on Twitter why the stars from his film, The Kashmir Files, had not made an appearance on the Kapil Sharma show, which is where the whole industry lands up to plug a new release. We know that, right? Well, when he was asked the question, Vivek Agnihotri didn't mince words when he confessed that Kapil Sharma's team refused to call us on the show because our film doesn't have any big commercial stars. He said, in Bollywood, non-starter directors, writers and good actors are considered nobodies. That must have hurt. Then he says this is in spite of the fact that Mithun Chakravarti and Anupam Kher are both in the Kashmir Files. Now, the film uses meticulously researched facts and video footage to tell the chilling story of the mass exodus and the indiscriminate killings of Kashmiri Pandits in extremely volatile political conditions in the Kashmir Valley. The film releases this weekend. Here's a story that made me smile a little bit because Swara Bhaskar, she does have a sense of humor. You know, she has a rather interesting take on her Bollywood journey so far, and she proudly declares that her choice of roles is heavily influenced by her mother, who's a film scholar with a sound knowledge and understanding of the craft of filmmaking. That is what draws you to the art and not to the glamour, कहती हैं Swara Bhaskar, and you learn to separate the two. calling her CV a mixed bag of rejected roles, Swara Bhaskar कहती हैं कि it doesn't matter what the world says. The role has to work for you. You have to feel connected to the character you're meant to portray on screen, right? And she says that the person who's offered to me, the role that is offered to me, can be very different from my own reality, my own life, but I should be able to empathize with the character to play the character convincingly on screen. In a recent interview, Swara Bhaskar कहती हैं, I always joke and say that my filmography is made up of roles that were rejected by everybody else. That I did all the stuff that nobody else in Bollywood wanted to do. Even my big budget roles were ones that nobody did. For example, in Ranjana, I was the last person to be cast because they had a last minute cancellation. Prem Ratan Dhanpayo, no actress wanted to play Salman Khan's sister, so they reached out to me. Even in Veer the Wedding, Riya Kapoor, when she was casting, she said, yaar, is role ke liye kisko main loon? You know, it was the last one to be cast. And I had to convince her to give it to me. In Neel Batte Sannata, when I signed the film, people said, yaar, this is suicide. This is professional suicide. Don't do it. Ye role tum karogi. Lekin you know what? Neel Batte Sannata remains the most special film of my career. It literally gave me an identity in Bollywood. Similarly, if you look at a film that not too many people know about, Anarkali of Ara, the director came back to me after 2.5 years of first announcing the film, and मैं तो आजकल सबको कहती हूँ जब मेरे पास कोई आता है ना स्क्रिप्ट लेके, it's okay, आप पूछ लीजिए, हर एक्ट्रेस से पूछ लीजिए, I'll be waiting here, and come back to me when you're ready for it. But then she also says कि मैं इसलिए हाँ नहीं कहूँगी क्योंकि सबने ना कहा. I will only agree to it if I find the role engaging for whatever reason. Good girl. Now, fans who've been patiently waiting for Anees Bazmi to roll out the sequel to his laugh-out-loud comedy No Entry, well, finally there is some concrete news for you, not just urti idle gossip. Bollywood insiders reveal that the sequel to No Entry will be done by a whole new team. So Boni Kapoor will get a profit share, but he won't have any creative say in the film. I doubt it very much if Anees Bazmi is going to either write it or direct it. Expect 9 times the madness. You know why? Because the 3 main stars, Salman Khan, Anil Kapoor and Fardeen Khan, will all play triple roles. And no less than 9 actresses will be a part of the ensemble, which will definitely be a Bollywood first. Now, the filmmakers hope to mount this comedy on an impressive size and scale, for which Bhushan Kumar of T-Series and Murad Khaitani, who produced Kabir Singh, that Murad Khaitani, they are expected to join hands as producers. So that's 3 main actors, 9 actresses, all in the same film, all at the same time. Anyone expecting the shoot to go smoothly? You're living in a fool's paradise. Well, Salman Khan's biggest fan in Milton Keynes, she might think differently. Let me know.
You can catch Shabnam Sahi, the ultimate storyteller, weekdays 9 a.m. till 12 noon.
Hi, this is Anushka Arora. As always, lovely to have your company for the Sunrise Radio podcast. And this week, I have another special guest on the show. Welcome back to another special Sunrise interview.
Welcome!
You asked for it. I've been talking about you since you've got here.
You asked for it.
Ranveer is here.
You got it.
You got it. So we're here with the ultimate, the one and the only Ranveer Singh.
You know I love ya.
So how is London treating you?
Well, London is now one of my favorite places in the world. I came here very late, actually. I was, I think, around 30 when I came for the first time.
Okay.
And that was also around the time that I saw my first live football match. And there's been no looking back. It's literally my favorite thing to do in the world.
As we
It's just
can see.
watch live football matches.
And this is what you're here doing this
And it
time
just
around
gives
fully.
me so much joy. It's inexplicable. I don't know what it is. It's like if I'm not playing it, I'm playing it on the video games. If I'm not watching it on the telly at home, I'm here watching it. I just love football and I love London and I love being here watching 5 matches in 5 days.
Yes.
All amazing
Yes.
matches. Manchester United, Tottenham. Went and watched Cristiano Ronaldo
I know.
at the peak of his powers, scoring a hat-trick, the winning goal. Old Trafford was going crazy. What a historic thing to have witnessed. Then, my favorite Arsenal against Who are they? Leicester City. The Foxes.
Did you just say that?
The Foxes. No, the Foxes. Foxes are a fabulous team, an absolutely fabulous institution, and I respect and appreciate them as opponents. But I was cheering for Arsenal yesterday.
Of course.
Sitting in the box, the boys played so well, confident. They were in control of that match throughout. It was amazing to watch. Today, getting a slice and a taste of history and culture of Premier League football. Selhurst Park, the one, the only Selhurst Park, deep rooted in tradition, a community club. I never thought that I'd come and be able to witness this. Patrick Vieira, one of my most ultimate sporting idols, at the helm at Crystal Palace. I'm really looking forward to meeting and interacting with him. I saw him once at the Emirates a few years ago. Now he's managing Crystal Palace, and I'm very, very excited to meet him. I'm very excited for tonight's match, and I hope that Crystal Palace are able to put up a tough fight against seemingly invincible opponents. Man City has really just come together like an unstoppable force of football. What Pep has been able to do with the funds, but also with the personnel, is create this super team, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing in action. I've seen them play Arsenal before, but Willie Zaha and Conor Gallagher, he's Crystal Palace's hero. I really want Conor Gallagher to have a good game today. Then of course back to Manchester for Manchester United against Atletico Madrid. You know who I'll be cheering for. Manchester United, English club in the Premier League. Come on, let's go. I definitely want to see the English club beat the Spanish club in the Champions League, and then back to the Emirates for Arsenal Liverpool.
I love
what a
it.
Contest. What a 5 days.
That's insane. You've
It's
literally
insane.
just given
It
us
is
your
insane.
entire itinerary. You've answered all the questions that I was going to
all my
ask
friends,
you.
all my boys
We're
at
done.
home, they were like, wow, this is your schedule. We are so jealous. And I was like, I'd be jealous of me too. I mean, this
is why we grabbed you.
It's
This
the-
is why we grabbed you at the opportunity. We were like,
It's the
Ranveer
stuff
Singh.
of dreams. I'm really living the dream here, honestly.
So am I, by the way. I'm also living the dream by speaking to you. And
Hey.
also, actually, thanks to you, this is my first time in a football stadium.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
First time
First
ever?
time ever.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
It's
So,
really something.
Thank you.
A celebration
I'm
of
normally
football and culture.
Yes, it is. I'm normally into the cricket, so
Yeah.
I'm like always
As am
there.
I,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I love football. I love my football.
Yes, so thank you for that. Now, I think let's talk about the importance of sport. I mean, why is it so important to you, and how would you kind of explain the importance of sports as a whole to the youth?
Well, it's a really good question. I'm also born into a sporting family. My father-in-law is India's premier badminton legend. Very proud of him and his achievements and everything that he's done for sport and badminton in India. I think there's a lot to learn from sports people, and sports teaches you life lessons that no other thing can teach you, really. You know, work ethic, team building, team values, leadership skills, how to ride the punches with the ups and downs. You know, sports is like life. You know, some you win, some you lose, some. But the important thing is how efficiently you're able to pick yourself up and go again. You know, that sportsman's spirit. And for me personally, I've been playing team sport throughout my childhood, and I love watching sport. There is something different about sports people. You know, what they do is like they are in the moment, putting the best of themselves out for a particular goal that they're all working towards together. You know, trust, loyalty. There's so many things that come to the fore when you're playing a team sport, when you're part of a team. That sportsman's spirit and the values by which they live their life and approach their profession is something that I also do as an artist, as a commercial artist myself. You know, that kind of discipline, sincerity, commitment, these are the values that I use and put into my work that helps me. I almost feel sometimes like, as much as I approach my work as an artist, I also go about it like an athlete, because you're working in the mainstream, you know, and you have to fight, you have to dance, you know, there are so many things that require that degree of discipline, and I think sports is the greatest teacher, and I wish to do my bit to promote sporting culture amongst the youth of India. As much as there should be involvement in cricket, football, just about any sport, you know, kids should be encouraged to pick up a sport, whether to play it to just learn or to even play competitive, you know. It teaches you a lot. And I admire sportsmen. I'm always starstruck when I meet sportsmen, more than even artists. I'm just always like in awe of them because of what they do, you know, what they stand for. They are some of the most hardworking individuals on the planet. And physical specimens, you know, phenomenons. Like last month I saw the basketballer Giannis Antetokounmpo in action, and I was like, man, this guy is a physical phenom. You know, you've got to admire them as you know, as individuals, what they can do, their physical prowess. You know, there's so much to learn from sport, from sports people. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to do this. You know, it's one thing sitting and watching it all at home. When you come and experience it live, it's a whole nother trip.
For sure.
And I'm just too grateful to the Premier League for making all of this possible for me.
You mentioned some of the emotions that sports people go through. You recently did 83, the film as well, which was, can I just say, mind-blowing. Like, that was
Full
that
power,
honestly, sitting in the cinema, like clapping, crying, laughing.
That's it.
Like,
That's what it's about.
And you know, we went as a family, and
wow.
I'm not lying, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting here with me. Like, I just turned around and I saw my sister, I saw my mom, I saw my dad. We had a cousin with us as well, and we were all just like feeling those emotions.
Yeah.
And honestly, what you put into that film was incredible. It was
Boom,
so
shakalaka.
so good.
Thank you so much.
And I think I probably say this about most of your films. In fact, all of your films. I don't think I've seen a film where I've walked out of the cinema or turned away thinking, what was that? I've always loved your craft. I've absolutely loved it. And we have so much more from you. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Always
You're on a roll.
Always something new.
Jayesh by Jordan.
Yes, the love and appreciation for 83 has been very overwhelming. We wanted to make a film that really celebrates the legacy of these sports people. You know, they changed the entire attitude of the nation. They did the unthinkable. You know, nobody believed in them. Nobody thought they could do anything close to what they did. They went and did it, and they changed the attitude. There's so many people who come and say, before that we used to think of ourselves as just journeymen as a people, and then suddenly we were standing shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world, saying we are the best in the world in this. We can be the best in the world in something, and it changed their whole attitude. You know, that was a big responsibility. The team came together, the cast and crew was wonderful. We had such great support from the players themselves, and it was important to us that their legacy be celebrated in a befitting way on celluloid. And then to see how happy they were with the film, and then this outpouring of overwhelming and unprecedented love from the audience. Yes, it got a bit jacked because of Omicron. You know, it released at what you could say was the wrong time.
But that nobody could have predicted that, right? You can't.
Like 48 hours before release for that to happen.
Exactly.
You know, it was unfortunate, but it'll be out on television soon.
Yay.
And everybody can see it. And there was really a component of the audience which we referred to as the nostalgia audience, the people who lived the beats of 83. Man, this film meant so much to them.
It's so weird because I never had this conversation with my dad because he was in the UK at that time. So after watching that film, I asked him, I'm like, what happened? Like, where were you? Do you remember this? So we had this conversation, and I've never had it before. So it was really nice for him to talk about the memories from there as well.
The best messages were those ones that I took my 60-year-old parents and to see them relive that. They were so emotional. Thank you for this. Thank you for this film. And the kind of calls I got from the most eminent personalities across fields. You know, it was really, the appreciation for this role and this character was really unprecedented. Also because I was able to showcase a new facet of my repertoire. You know, earlier you have a blank canvas. You can create characters from scratch. Here you have certain parameters. There's already a page. You have to get on that page. So I think that what people found to be astonishing, perhaps the way that I was able to become to a certain degree
for
coupled
sure.
in.
Yeah,
And
the look,
so the love and
the way you were
appreciation was just
talking.
like, I was like, man, I've worked 10 years, but I've not experienced a tsunami like this. So yeah, touch wood, very grateful that this film came to me and that I was able to lead this wonderful ensemble into making a piece of cinema that I feel will go down in history as something quite memorable and cherished.
For sure. I think all of your films, let's be fair, whatever genre it is, I think all of them are going down in history. Now, just one final question. Actually, it's not really a question, but I'd love for you to give a message to everyone who's watching. Just to your fans, just to people around the world who are going to watch this and hear this, and just to appreciate their love, because we talk about you so much on the show.
I'm watching all of those exchanges on Twitter.
Yeah,
I am, and I read everything.
You do. We know this.
I may not reply, but I do read everything. What can I say? Thank you for all your love and all your encouragement, all your support. This is the wind beneath my wings. This is what keeps me going. This is why I wake up every morning and, do my best to entertain people, because that's what I feel is my calling. I was brought on this earth to entertain people. I have this belief that we're all on this journey of life, and there is an inevitable thing at the end of it, and it's an arduous journey. We're perhaps not living in the best time for our cosmic existential existence. It's a tough time.
It is.
Everything that's happening around us, pandemic, war. It's not the best time for humanity, and I believe that this journey is arduous. So I feel like I'm that guy who's walking alongside you, saying, "Hey, come, I'll tell you a joke or sing you a song. I'll just make this heavy experience a bit lighter for you." And I've been able to do that 10 years now. I am living the dream, and thanks to you all for embracing me from my first film onwards, giving me an opportunity time and time again to entertain you all. And I'm living the dream. No dream is big enough. I mean, I'm a living, breathing example of how it was perhaps far-fetched for me to become a Hindi film actor, and I tried for it, and I did it. And I mean, 10 years down, after having put in the work now, I'm working with the kind of people who I would have never dreamed I'm working with. The kind of response to my films, the acceptance and love of the audience is beyond my wildest imagination. I have to pinch myself every day. There's now and then, and ever so often, I have an experience where I have to stop and be like, wow, this is actually happening. Just look at this month for me. Last month I met LeBron James. 2 nights ago I saw Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick live in the stadium. Today I'm a special guest at Selhurst Park.
Yes.
No dream is big enough. Believe in yourself, back yourself, and go for it. Go follow your dream with intensity and passion, and if you give it your everything, if you're sincere towards it, and you leave no stone unturned into manifesting and making your dream a reality, you too can do it. So go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ranveer Singh! Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen to our Bollywood queen Anushka Arora from 12 noon to 4 p.m. weekdays on Sunrise.
The
Bhangra Showdown with Ameet Chana.
Now, if you've been listening to the show since the beginning, I've been talking about speaking to my guest all morning, and it's going to finally happen. After the success of her debut EP, Moving On, Saloni is now back with a brand new single called Know About You, and she joins me on the line now. Good morning, Saloni.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. We got there in the end.
Yeah, finally.
We got there in the end. Listen, thank you so much for your patience. I know we had a bit of technical issues, but we are talking now. Congratulations, firstly, on all your success so far. Now, listen, I know you're not supposed to ask a young lady their age, but you strike me as being quite young for someone that's achieved so much. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 20.
Right, so you're 20 and you've already had major success with your debut EP and you're back again with a brand new single. How does it feel to have kind of made so much kind of ground at such a young age?
It feels amazing, honestly. I mean, trying to make the most of it, I guess, and it's just a gradual process and just seeing where it goes, really.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. I mean, tell me about your kind of introduction to music. When did you start singing? How did you discover that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so surprisingly, my family is not really from a musically oriented background. So it came as a real surprise when my parents could find out I could sing. I was about 4 years old. We went on a trip to Scandival, and one of the nurses there asked me to sing a Christmas carol, just as we would have learned at nursery or whatever. And that was the first time my parents heard me sing, and they were honestly stunned. So since then, they put me into Indian classical classes, Carnatic music singing lessons, and that's kind of what built a strong base for me. As I went into school, I went into more Western style. I was introduced to more like the English styles of music as opposed to the Bollywood that I'd listened back at home. And then that's when I started to release my own music. I was scouted by a label and they kind of taught me how to songwrite, and that's when I released my EP at about 16. And then I released another one when I was about 17, 18. And that's when I realized, okay, I want to kind of bring both the mix of my Western and Eastern cultures that I love so much. And here I am bringing in Western and Eastern into my original music.
And that's quite a phenomenal journey for someone that started so young and is, as you just mentioned, still only 20 years old. I mean, how do you go about, you said we signed to a label. I mean, in the world of streaming and stuff now, do you take much more control over that rather than a label? How does someone so young understand that side of it or the business side of it?
Yeah, so when I was with the label I think I was with them around when I was 14 or so. They were developing me as an artist, so they used to teach me about all of this stuff, and it was a good artist development program. Right. And that's how I used to learn some stuff. But still, at that young age, I still didn't know much, and I'm still learning, to be honest. But after a few years, I realized, okay, it might be better to be purely independent. So I left, and now I'm quite independent. I'm trying to figure things out my own way, and seeing what works through some guidance and so on.
Well, you seem to be doing just fine already, to be honest. Now, listen, your press release says that you sing in 10 different languages. I am intrigued. What does that mean? I mean, I can barely speak English, I said to my listeners earlier today. So tell me, 10 languages. What languages are they?
So I released a mashup, a 10-language mashup during lockdown. Right. And I did it in Punjabi, Hindi, Oriya, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, and Bengali.
Wow, so that is 10 languages there. I don't think you even mentioned English in that, so it's probably 11, actually. And I guess the next question is why? Why did you want to do that? What was it, to reach a wider audience? Was it just a challenge?
So, yeah, actually, I mean, we were all in a lockdown. We all needed something to do. And this is a big part of, this is when I took my gap year and wanted to focus mainly on music. So it was a big part of me finding new things to learn and seeing how I can get out there. And honestly, it's just my love for South Asian music, South Asian languages, culture, and everything. And so, I basically did a 10-language mashup on the Badshah Genda Fool song. Okay. And the second I heard the beat, I was like, this is such a desi track, and I feel like so many songs could kind of fit to this. And I just sat down one day and was like, okay, what songs from different languages can I put in here? I got some advice from other family friends that knew these languages, and I was like, what popular song is there in your language? And I sat with them to learn the pronunciation and make sure I got it right. Wow. And the meaning behind it. And then once I kind of figured that out, I mixed it, mashed it up, and decided to kind of dress up in the culture of each of those languages and do a video kind of portraying the beauty of Indian culture and the different languages and the different areas of South Asia. And it was a 1-month project, but it was definitely worth it. It was amazing, and really, it was just an amazing experience.
And all of that in a lockdown as well. So, I mean, it's not like you were going to people's houses and saying, "Oh, listen, teach me this song." I'm guessing this was all online and through Zoom, etc., which is quite the challenge as well. Talking of which, do you write your own songs? Is this new single written by you?
Yes, it is. So I sit with my producer, comes up with a beat, and then we kind of think of a melody. And the English lyrics I write by myself. But when it comes to the Desi stuff, I kind of hum out the melody and send it off to get written alongside the meaning that I've written the English lyrics for.
And what is your heritage, South Asian heritage? What is your South Asian heritage?
I'm from South India. I'm Telugu.
Okay, wow, okay, brilliant. So you really are discovering languages that aren't necessarily natural to your tongue, because that is a very different language from Hindi and Punjabi, etc. So that is quite the challenge you're setting yourself. Now, tell us what Know About You is about, Saloni.
So it's a track that hopefully many people relate to. As a woman, I feel like, or just as a young adult, really, as I've come along, I've tried to kind of satisfy other people, please them or whatever. And this track is basically telling everyone to look, you can make your own stance. You don't need to know about everyone. You make your own decision, kind of thing.
Amazing.
So it's really encouraging as young adults to take a stance and make a statement.
Now, it looks like you're having a lot of fun in the video, and it looks like you're surrounded by people you know. Are they your friends in the video? Because it looks like they're of the same sort of age group and ilk of your kind of social circle.
Yeah. So, a lot of them are actually my schoolmates, and then during my gap year, one of my friends went to uni, so then I met her uni mates. But my best friend actually choreographed the dance, and because she's already at uni, she kind of got dancers that she was working with at UCL and kind of just came up with the dances as well.
Brilliant. It looks like you had a lot of fun shooting it. Now, that is out now as well. The single is out as well, Know About You. The video I watched this morning, and like I said, it looks like you're having a bit of fun there, and someone crossing the line with you that you keep pushing away, which is always a good thing. As the father of a 10-year-old daughter, it's exactly the right message you should be giving. Brilliant. Good stuff. Saloni, where can people get in touch with you? Where can they find your music and just find out more about you?
Yeah, so Know About You is available to stream on all platforms. You can find me as Saloni_music, SALONI_music on Instagram, Twitter, Saloni.music on TikTok, and Saloni on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify.
And you've got quite the following on TikTok, I believe, as well, right? You've racked up like 5 million views or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I over lockdown, I mean, not even over lockdown, actually, over the first year of my university after my gap year, I really focused on TikTok. It was my New Year's resolution. I'd be posting every day, 2-3 times a day, and it really popped up and it really paid off, and I'm just looking to grow it more now. I
think that is the most millennial New Year's resolution I've ever heard. I'm going to focus on TikTok for the new year. Saloni, it's been
I'll be honest.
Go on.
TikTok thing, I always found it so cringy, or like not something I would get on. And when it first came out, I was like, nah, I can't be doing this. But as a content creator, as a musician, as an independent artist, it really is essential for us to get on that. As a millennial as it sounds, it's a big platform, and I'm so glad I got on it when I did. I mean, I wish I got on it earlier, but you know what? It's never too late to do anything. So I'm glad I got on it then. And yeah, it's just going on now. So
my daughter keeps telling me, she's like, why haven't you got TikTok, Daddy? I'm like, I'm too old for that stuff. Saloni, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much. What a pleasure, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Join Ameet Chana every Saturday from 4 p.m. for the Bhangra Showdown, playing you the finest in Punjabi and Bhangra music from the past, present and future.
Hello, this is Sonia from Drive Time on Sunrise, and I'm really glad that you're here with me today. Do you ever wonder just how many things around you affect the way your day turns out? I'm pretty sure right now you're thinking, yep, here she goes again, she's talking about energy. Well, I am, and I'm not. That just depends on how you read into what I say. This weekend, lots of people around the world will celebrate Holi, otherwise known as the Festival of Colours. This festival, they say, marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring, when cold, dark and grey days and nights are gradually replaced with warmer and lighter days, sprinkled with signs of new life in every which way we turn. I know there are many festivals around the world that are celebrated to mark beautiful milestones or transitions in seasons, each equally exciting and meaningful to those who take part. But I'll focus on Holi today, as it's that time of the year and it coincides with what I want to talk about in this episode. At this time of the year, all things are willed to blossom. Nature, love and relationships, business, career, health, and just life in general. And of course, if you know anything about Holi at all, you'll know that at the very centre of any typical celebration is delicious food, loud feel-good music, huge gatherings of people, sometimes friends and enemies all in the same place, trying to escape for just a few moments from any hatred or animosities that they carry for each other. Lots of joyous laughter, and most evidently, an abundance of the most vibrant colours you might have seen in the year so far. Each colour symbolising something quite significant. Red for love and fertility, green for new beginnings, and a glorious golden yellow that mirrors the heat and the natural healing powers of turmeric, a spice more famous in India than any Bollywood star could imagine to be. And many more colours are included in that palette. I'm sure that you will also agree that even just seeing others taking part in these exuberant celebrations is truly uplifting. We know that laughter, good music and dance are supercharged with energy that's easily transferable, contagious almost. But let's face it, without the bursts of those radiant and striking colours, it's just another party. We don't often think about this, but colours play a huge part in our lives. And I think it's okay to say both that colours can really affect our mood and that the colours we associate with are a reflection of our inner self. We make choices based around colours all the time. The choices we make can be quite telling of our inner state of mind, yet at the same time can say quite the opposite to what we truly feel. If you're confused, it's understandable, but make sure you listen to the very end of this episode. It will all make good sense eventually. We hear people talk about colours in various ways, including the different colours that some people present themselves in, usually said in a negative connotation, sometimes meaning that people have dual personalities or a dark side. But today I want to talk about colours and dual personalities from a different angle. Let's take the clothes that we wear. How do you usually dress? What's a normal dress code for you? What sort of colours dominate your wardrobe? The colours that you're usually drawn to? I know that on an average day, when I'm focused purely on my work and not much else, I dress in colours that can be seen as quite bland and basic, usually dark or pale colours. Colours that are not necessarily loud, because my intention for the day is purely to have a productive day and get my work done. It's not to be seen everywhere I go or grab attention. I've also noticed that the lower my mood, the less vibrant my clothes will be. On a day when I'm feeling a little happier in myself, for whatever reason, perhaps more confident somehow, I'm drawn towards more vibrant colours. I notice the weather plays a part in this too, not just in the type or style of clothes that I wear, but the colours that I choose. Summer just feels freer somehow, like I'm able to breathe openly and see more of what's around me, as though a veil has been lifted. I notice the beauty of nature 10 times more than I would in the winter months, when things just feel more enclosed. So yes, the colours we dress ourselves in can say quite a lot about how we feel on the inside, mentally and emotionally. But beware. As much as the colours we wear, or the types of clothes we wear, or the accessories we dress it all up with, or the makeup or hair colour we go for, can reflect how we feel on the inside, don't be fooled. Because all of this can also spell the opposite. Sometimes when a person is hurting real bad inside, they can go to extremes to try and feel just a little bit better. The hurt they actually feel can be so deep that no matter what they do on the outside, nothing seems to cover it up or make it any less. So they'll keep on doing more, putting on more, or getting louder in colour or seemingly flamboyant. Not just because they're trying to break free from their inner demons, but also because that's what they need other people to see. Maybe that's their way of trying to blend in at school, college, work, or a social gathering. They feel the need, not because other people know their story, but because they know their own story and don't want to share it with the world, perhaps for the fear of being judged, misunderstood, or taunted. Their mission is only to cover up their story and be like everyone else, but their cover can become so thick that often, unbeknown to them, they draw more negative attention to themselves from people who have absolutely no idea how hurt, depression, anxiety, psychology and mental health actually work or affect people. From people who are too quick to judge and call them out for dressing so loud or being vocally loud or wearing too much makeup or any at all, or styling their hair a certain way or having tattoos, or the list is endless. This is why it's so important not to judge people. Even if you've known someone a very long time, unless you've travelled their journey with them side by side and know exactly what they're going through right this moment in time, you probably have no idea. The moral of this episode is don't judge others by what your eyes show you. Try instead to accept that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, living through many different chapters that teach us numerous lessons. Some that we've learned and are now the product of, and others that we're still juggling. How many we're juggling at the same time is for us to know, and others to either misjudge and taunt or empathize with and allow. I can never understand why it's so important to some people to be so curious about what others are doing or not doing. Isn't it just extra stress? It's not within your rights to do either of these things. Your time is precious, and so is the need for you to be able to experience the colours of the world for their true purpose. And the purpose of the colours will always remain the same and true, regardless of who wears them or how they are presented to you. So if someone shows up in a way that's different to you or different to how you're used to seeing them, as long as they're not bringing harm or sadness to another, let them be. Or better still, support them. If you care, ask them about the change, find out if they're okay. If you don't care, then why care enough to judge or taunt? Let others be how they feel to be. It's not only you who has the right to be how you feel to be, and the way you feel to be isn't necessarily the only right way to be. All colours are beautiful, we know that, but so are the people who wear them, however they choose to wear them. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and it's helped somewhat in even the smallest way. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, don't get busy judging. If you don't understand it, just pay more attention to your own. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.
The lady with an infectious laugh. You know who it is. Sonia, Monday to Friday, between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. to keep you smiling.